Chapter 1. Capturing the Greatest Business Opportunity in a Century. The key fact for business for at least the next 2 decades is this. More than 2.5 billion people in China, India, and other developing countries are moving out of poverty and will urbanize and move into industrial and service occupations by 2030. That 2.5 billion is on top of the 1.5 billion people who have already moved into cities and into the middle class. That 2.5 billion is 8 times the current population of the United States, 3.5 times the population of Europe, more than the populations of Africa, North America, and South America combined. Standing shoulder to shoulder at the equator, those urbanizing and industrializing would circle the globe 40 times. To accommodate all these people urbanizing, industrializing, and moving into the middle class, China alone will build 2.5 cities the population of Chicago every year for the foreseeable future. India will build 1 new Chicago each year. The United States took more than 100 years to build 25 metro markets of more than 1 million people. China will have 221 cities that size by 2025. Just building this infrastructure will create massive demand for energy and raw materials. Think of the amount of concrete, iron, and steel in a bridge or skyscraper, the amount of copper in a power grid, and the energy required to power the cranes, bulldozers, and other machines that build it, and multiply those amounts by tens of thousands. What's more, China, India, and the other countries where much of this building will happen do not yet use resources with the same efficiency as the industrialized countries. In the United States, for example, 55% of the copper supply comes from recycled sources. In China, that figure is only 5%, because copper has to go into new infrastructure first, before it can be recycled. We'll see in Chapter 4 how this massive infrastructure build-out creates enormous business opportunities for those who can do it more efficiently. After the infrastructure is built, the new members of the urban middle class will want to drive to work, heat their homes in winter and cool them in summer, eat meat most days of the week, wash their clothes at home in clean water, and play with their smartphones while lounging in front of their flat-screen TVs and eating microwaved snacks. These people will drive hundreds of millions of cars, consuming billions of gallons of gasoline and diesel each year. The economic power that comes with all this new demand for access to energy, water, and protein could drive economic growth for generations. But this growth is in danger of being cut short because so much stress will be placed on natural resources, much more even than accompanied the first and second industrial revolutions. In the first industrial revolution, which began with the steam engine and ran from the late 1700s through the mid-1800s, 13% of the world's population industrialized, Western Europe. In the second industrial revolution, 16% of the world industrialized for the first time, the United States, Canada, Australia, Russia, and Japan. This time, 37% of the world's population will industrialize for the first time, mostly China and India and other parts of Asia and South America. Roughly 130 million people benefited from the first industrial revolution. This time, the number will be 2.5 billion. That's almost 20 times as many people, meaning 20 times the stress on resources. Yet that figure is just the beginning. Before the first industrial revolution, the daily energy usage of someone in the middle class pretty much consisted of the food he consumed, or some 2,000 kcals. Today, a member of the middle class uses more than 200,000 kcals of energy a day, including gasoline for cars, electricity for lighting, natural gas for heating, and so on. That's a 100 times increase. Do the math. With 20 times as many people demanding 100 times as much energy and resources, a smart manager can argue that the new demands about to be placed on the world's resources dwarf those from the first industrial revolution by a factor of 2,000.